The first track on the album is called Find a Home, and it's about a cult in Victorian times who settled in the New Forest, which is where we are now, topical. And they believed in eternal life and resurrection and things, and that they were quite a new story in their day, and they were in sway. A lot of the album's about the places and where we grew up and the city. It's a much more personal record. I think we pushed ourselves musically, so all the tracks are linked, and there's like a cohesion and a flow in it. Find a Home segues straight into The Lost Estate, which is picks up the theme of being in the woods and lost in the forest and things, but it takes its name from a French book called Le Grand Monde, I think by Alain Fournier, and he was a young guy who wrote this book. He wrote one book and he was killed in World War One. And it's about a guy who gets lost in an area called Saint Agathe, and he finds this beautiful mansion, and he falls in love with a girl at this party, and he comes back to where he was, but he can never find his way back. And it's an intensely romantic and poetic book. But there felt to be like a thematic link with Find a Home, and it just carried on the theme of beginning some kind of journey. The third track on the album is called Shanghai, which is it means when like sailors were press ganged. I think that's what it means, and trapped and taken away to work on the ships at sea. It's also the title of a Charlie Chaplin film.
I've not seen it.
It's good. It's good. He's great, Chaz. Genius.
Chaz
Chaplin.
Yeah.
And what it's about kind of what's happened with the banks, and I don't know, just the way that people can pretty much do anything, but if they apologise, it just publicly undoes everything, but nobody apologises until they're caught. Which kind of renders it redundant, and just the impact you sort of see it have on the people you love around you. There's a lot of frustration in the song, and it's I don't know, it might be the nastiest thing we've ever recorded, to be honest. It's
I think that's one of the best. I'm going to blow smoke at you guys. One of the best vocals you've ever done, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
I don't want to.
Brief.
Yeah, it's quite a short song.
It is. I mean, actually, to be honest, after talking about how we extended all the tracks and everything, that was one where we brutally didn't extend it. It's very much a short, sharp shock, and
it's a punch.
All the tracks on the album have got really. It's quite a sad record, really, which is honest and reflective, because it's a strange thing, you know. We can be quite melancholic people, but I suppose musically it doesn't come over all the time, because everything's so bright and shiny and colourful that even when you're trying to say something pretty, I don't know, you're trying to reveal something about yourself, but it's dressed up in like a rainbow. People don't really get what you're trying to say, whereas I think this one, the lyric and the sound of the record actually come together very, very naturally and very well. And it's you know, Rhapsody's a sad song. It's kind of a celebration of nostalgia, really. Rhapsody, about lost moments, and in terms of the sound of it, I think it's one of my favourite sounding tracks on the album, really. Rhapsody, I think it sounds beautiful. I love it. May 45 is about an old man in an old people's home who has no visitors, but keeps a picture under his pillow of a woman that he loved during the Second World War, and he never really had the guts to say anything, and sort of lost her in the crowds on the celebrations when the war ended. And I think it really is kind of inspired by the, you know, if you drive up towards Eastleigh from Bit Park here in Southampton, you've got a big model of a Spitfire, because they built and developed a Spitfire here. You know, Star Tiger, Star Ariel airplanes. It's this kind of loose theme. It's not rigidly conscious. You just find that there are all these links and things. A lot of it's happens subconsciously, you know.
I like when we demoed that track, you kind of just put the guitar down and left me with it.
Yeah.
Which was good. I enjoyed wrecking it a bit.
Aaron introduced a lot of dynamics into the track, because it was written that's sort of
I introduced a lot of dynamics into that track.
Well, it was initially it was a fairly straight ahead, written on an acoustic sort of sort of track, and then I went away and came back, and Aaron had destroyed it in a good way.
Mm.
Yeah. Hold Fire is the first time that I've ever played piano, and I can't play piano, so I got myself like a Casio keyboard, you know, with a nice demo button on it to get nice sounds and things.
And that was the demo.
And that was it. And just kind of stayed up all hours, just trying to learn how to play chords by ear. So you know, if there are any pianists listening to Hold Fire, I make no claims of quality in what I did. It's very ham-fisted, but it was nice to, you know, it's a. Again, I mean, I wouldn't make any great claims as a guitarist either, but you kind of get comfortable with chords that you know, and obviously not being able to play piano at all, influences and limits you. And I think sometimes you're defined by your limits, you know, because when you sit in a studio, you can just do anything, create anything. And it's what your decision making that defines the sound and everything. And Hold Fire is the first song I've ever written on a piano. And I think, you know, playing it on the piano at Rockfield where Queen recorded Bohemian Rhapsody, so not a bad introduction.
I think that's the most melancholic song you've ever written, to be honest. I like it when you can put a song on and it just becomes, you know, you could have this as you can have this that you're looking at, and it will mean something, and you put a piece of music over it and it almost becomes filmic, and that does that for me, definitely.
The first single off the album is called Unsung, and that's the you know, I think it was from the moment we demoed it, I think we all felt it was going to be a single, but strangely throughout the recording, I think we recorded it and just had a kind of a sense of satisfaction and confidence with it, and we just didn't put it on a pedestal really. And but once it was mixed by a guy called Steve Power. All of a sudden, I think it was like hearing it fresh and new for the first time. I mean, that's it's purely that's a really euphoric piece of music.